Arsenal won. Spurs now. Arsenal have once again won the North London derby. That is apparently Arteta's third successive North London derby win. I mean, apparently since the Tottenham Stadium has been open, since it's apparently Arsenal have won more times in Tottenham's new stadium than Tottenham have. I mean, it's pretty much not even a rivalry at this point. We pretty much own Tottenham Hotspur at this stage. But let's get into the game. Firstly, before the game, I was very worried about our lineup, about how the team and how Arteta was going to set up, and of course with the notable absence of Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice, Arsenal were going to of course struggle today. Okay, everyone knew. I think if you thought Arsenal were going to play this expansive football here, I think you're just being deluded at this stage, because with no Mika Marino, no Martin Odegaard, and no Declan Rice. Yes, Marino hasn't played for Arsenal, but without three potentially starting players in our midfield, it was going to be a very difficult game for Arsenal. And the way we played, I didn't expect anything different. I knew Tottenham wanted to get revenge on us, of course, from the performance, the result from last season. Being 3-0 down at halftime in a derby is never acceptable, and you could tell that Tottenham were fired up. They were not going to want a repeat of this, and you saw the way they played. They were very attacking in the first half. But ultimately, even though they were attacking, I was aware that Arsenal were going to get the chances, and we got some chances in the first half, and I really think we could have done more. But Martinelli, let's talk about Martinelli. Martinelli is one of my favorite players, but it seems right now he's just making the wrong decision, making the wrong pass. His touches are too heavy. It's just something's just not clicking for him, and I think the introduction of signing Raheem Sterling is now going to keep Martinelli on his toes. For me right now, Martinelli, I wouldn't know if I'm not 100% sure if I would start him against Manchester City, because even today there was one chance where Trossard puts him in through, and Martinelli, he could have shot. I mean, he really could have scored if he wanted to. But, not if he wanted to. Well, he could have done better for his shot, or he could have squared it to Saka, which I think was a better option. He could have squared it to Saka, and we could have been 1-0 up. Today we got away with it against Tottenham, but come Manchester City, if we give up those chances, Manchester City will punish you, because Haaland is not going to miss one of those chances. De Bruyne, they're not going to miss one of those chances. So we really do need to start taking our chances. But Tottenham, by the way, absolutely toothless. I mean, looking back now, I don't know why I was worried, because these guys were just crossing. And Gabriel and Saliba, let's talk about these two guys, because Gabriel needed to have a big game today, because after the him and the Saliba mix up against Brighton, and then him losing the ball against Aston Villa, I even said in my match preview, Gabriel has to have a big game, and today he stepped up. What a performance by Gabriel. Solanke is not any type of striker. This guy is a proper striker. He would cause most defenders trouble, but today Gabriel and Saliba totally bossed him, kept him really quiet. Big shout out to the defense. Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. Ben White kept Son quiet. Timber, what a performance by Timber today as well. Not just defensively, but going forward as well. Sometimes I'm thinking to myself, this guy should play as a winger, because he's so good comfortably on the ball. The way he can just change directions, with a burst of pace. This guy is so good. I think we were so unfortunate that we didn't get to see the best of Timber last season. Of course, he was injured for the whole season. We got to see him play a bit, but it was too late. And I'm so happy we'd get to have Timber back. What else to talk about? This game, Tottenham, I'll be honest, they have bowled it today, because that midfield today was absolutely atrocious on paper. Thomas Partey and Jorginho, that is like a combined age of 60 years old. Those two different midfielders cannot run, and we still somehow managed to get a win against Tottenham. But one thing about this game that reminded me is of old Arsenal. Spurs reminded me of the old Arsenal under the Wenger times, where you felt that when you come up against a big team, and the big teams have a lot of injuries, you felt that this is your chance to win. And when you are playing, you feel just because you have a lot of possession that you're dominating the game. But up comes the other team, one chance, one goal, and that's exactly what we did today. Monstrous header by Gabriel. I mean, Romero is one of the most hyped up defenders. Every season, Tottenham fans hype up Romero. And look, he's a good player, okay? I'm not saying he's a bad player, but the way they hype him up today, and for him to be at fault for that first goal, leaving Gabriel unmarked. I mean, what are you doing? Arsenal's biggest strength, Arsenal's biggest strength is our set pieces. And today, we didn't even have our number one set piece takers. We didn't have no Martin Odegaard. We didn't have no Declan Rice. and yet we still managed to find a way to score a goal. And that's, I think, a big improvement, because I felt that I felt especially in this game, with with injuries to Martin Odegaard, with injuries to with Declan Rice suspended, we needed players to step up today. We needed to create a chance from something. We needed, there's no way you're going to go a whole season without injuries. And what's important is, when you do get those injuries, how do you set up? And I think today Arteta set up brilliantly. He understood the team's limitations, and we all knew what the limitation was. Today, there was no way we were going to play out from the back. And a few times we did, and we were lucky because there was some sloppy passes. Solanke had one. Thankfully, Saliba came across and blocked it. But we were so sloppy playing out from the back. And I think Arteta knew that, and that's why the team's plan was clear. It was just launch out to the wingers or launch out to Kai Havertz. Big shout out to Kai Havertz today. This guy ran for everything. He caused so much trouble. And one thing about Kai Havertz right now, he is giving everything he has. Every loose ball is running, challenging for every header. I mean, he is really stepping up. And that's why I said when your big players like Martin Odegaard, Saka are not performing, you need other players to step up. And Kai Havertz is an example of that. He is stepping up right now. What else? Yeah, Tottenham, not the best, are they? They're really not the best. Very toothless. But I think we played well. I think defensively we were good, decent. I think we were really not defense. I wouldn't say decent, actually. We were good. I think defensively we were good, and I think it showed that as long as we have a good, what we've lacked this thing under Wenger, where our defense was so shaky. And one thing that Arteta has done is clear. He's built a really good, solid foundation, and once you build that good defense, you can just build upon it. You can build with the strikers, the midfielders, and today, because our defense was so solid, we were able to use that to our advantage, because we only needed a few chances or a few moments, and we were already in the box. Whilst Tottenham passing side to side, every time they cross, our defenders are just booting away. But yeah, overall, it was a really good, big result. Forget the performance in these games; it's the result that matters. Because when you are going up against Tottenham away, your biggest rivals in a title race, and you have injuries to key players, you still need to win. You still need to find a way to win. And I'll be honest, I don't think a lot of Arsenal sides would have done this over the years. But this Arsenal side have changed. They have improved. They're not the same Arsenal. They're not the same Arsenal side that were known as having a soft belly. The ones that Gary Neville and Patrice Evra used to roast. This is a different Arsenal side. They're really, well, we haven't won anything yet, but it does show that they have shown so many moments where they do have that mentality, and it's just about time now where we do build upon it, we do win something, and we get across that finishing line. But for me, big result when you look at it. Tottenham away, Atlanta away, Manchester City away. We passed the first big test, and if we didn't win today, Atlanta now is going to look like a big trouble game, a big game. And Manchester City, my days, that itself, even if we won today, even that game itself is going to be another big test. But let's focus on today. I think we played decent. Like I said, I think we played decent. But what is most important is that we found a way to win, and that's the number one thing. When you are trying to win the league, you're not going to play 100% in every single game. It's just impossible. Even Manchester City have off days. But what is important is you find a way to score and you find a way to win the game. And that's exactly what we did today. In terms of the bench, well, so many injuries. Martin Odegaard out injured. Miko Marino, Tomiyasu, Kieran Tierney, I think, is also out injured. Then you got Zinchenko out injured as well. There's a lot of absences from our team. And I think we got the smaller squad as well, so that doesn't help, but we just have to build upon it. The next game is Atlanta, but for now, let's enjoy that win against Tottenham. Yeah, it was a really good performance, but when Gabriel scored, oh my days, I erupted from my seat, because there's been, over the years, I've seen Arsenal sides where we're into these big games, right? And we're always on the opposite side, where the big teams are dunking on us. For the first time, we are now dunking on the other teams. Even with injuries, we are stepping up, and it shows this team is capable of winning the league. Maybe I'm speaking too early. Maybe my opinion could change after we play Manchester City. But for now, let's enjoy the Manchester City win. Let me know who your man of the match was. For me, my man of the match, I would probably say I'd give it to Gabriel or Saliba. I think Saliba was so good today. There were so many times where he was getting pressured on the ball and he just rolls it off. Or there were so many times where there was a loose ball, but he was just so good, so solid. Shout out to Ethan and Noah, he came on. came on in the last 5 minutes because Saka came off injured. Let's hope Saka's injury is not a big one. And yeah, Jesus and Sterling came on. I do think Jesus and Sterling really should have come on a bit earlier. I think there was a one decent chance of Sterling where I think he could have done a bit better. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts were. Do you think Arsenal, do you think we played well? Do you think maybe I'm being a bit too harsh? For me, I think we played okay. But all I cared about is winning, and we got a clean sheet as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.